Shut your eyes. Stop your ears. There is nothing to see, and if there is, it is much better left unseen. Spare yourself the terrible knowledge of what lies beyond, above, out among the stars, out in the darkness, where perhaps something does wait to be discovered. Something obscure and incomprehensible that longs to be known, to press itself into your understanding at the unseen hour. Our scope is limited. Everything we know amounts to an infinitesimal glimmer of familiar light in a pitch-dark desert of limitless untrodden terrain that stretches infinitely in more directions than we have names for. A pure and perfect expanse of endless potential that we seek only to render mundane with our feeble attempts at understanding. Feeble attempts like those of one communications officer, 4th class, Rufus Strideforth, as he buckles his sturdy tweed EVA suit and prepares for the launch of the exploratory vessel Night Hag on its pioneering flight beyond the moon.
Ten, 9, 8.
Oh, golly, here we go!
7, 6.
Ignition.
I'm not sure about this.
Keep the lines clear, my dears.
Sorry.
3, 2, 1.
Roger! Let's lift off, and the clock is starting.
Your roll systems are... Your roll program is, my dears.
Roger! Roll systems program started.
Roll program completed. Starting pitch.
Sorry, didn't copy any of that. Say again, command.
The Colonel says, bon voyage.
Yes, Johnny, good. Well, goodbye, Earth. We'll see you soon. Yes, quick, loop around Mars, and we will be back with you. Yes, command, can you smoke me a kipper? I'll be back. Hello? Well, they've disconnected. Oh, gosh. It's awfully quiet here in space. Just us now, I suppose, and all the others are probably busy. Not much communication needed. Nah, just a little time to sit and to contemplate. We'll pass the moon in no time, for sure, and then open space, where no man or woman has gone before. Just space. Endless space. Oh God, what are we doing? Ah! Where are we going, computer? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Rufus. I'm always here. Please, computer is so formal. Call me Scruffleguts.
Do we really know what's out there? Scruffleguts?
Oh, yes. The solar system has been comprehensively mapped and investigated by unmanned probes.
Yes, I know, but those are just machines, Scruffleguts. Until a human has been out there, how can we really know?
Oh, well, you do realize that I'm a machine, Rufus. That's really quite hurtful.
Oh, I'm sorry. Please don't be silly. I didn't mean it like that.
No, of course. And yet, if I were to make the same kind of comment referring to, say, your weight...
What the hell are you getting at? What's wrong with my weight?
Nothing. It was simply an example chosen at random.
Well, good. Yes, I apologize for any insensitivity, Scruffleguts. I'm really I'm just a little anxious about traveling into deep space.
Yes, that's all right. It's a stressful time.
Nonetheless, I didn't mean to belittle you. I do understand how it sounded, and I am sorry. It won't happen again.
Well, thank you, Rufus.
Thank you, Scruffleguts. You know, I am still utterly terrified of being in space. I'm just going to see how the others are doing. Commander, are you there?
Yes, indeed! Commander and Head Navigational Officer of the exploratory vessel Night Hag, and proud of it! Harriet Power Star here, stern, rule-obsessed authority figure with a heart of gold, who suffered tragic hardships in her life on Earth, relying on a steady resolve and our graft to put ahead all of her peers, as an underprivileged woman in a world that, through all its technological progress, is still run by men, who are invariably either weak, incompetent, or evil! How about that?
Oh, it's one of those episodes. I am still slightly concerned that we're rocketing into the endless abyss of space in just a flimsy tin can, and we have no idea what's out there, and it could be something much worse than anything we've ever seen. You know, it could be aggressive aliens that have been hiding from our probes and stealing phones. It could be a torturous hell dimension where Sam Neill gets all weird and nasty. It could be a single-minded, narrow AI, not like you, Scruffleguts.
Thank you.
That is just turning everything into paper clips. But it could be something so strange even I can't begin to imagine.
Right, but you are an astronaut, and you do know that it's just a lot of nothing and then a big red planet.
Well, yes. I mean, according to the data we have.
The decades, or in fact actually centuries of entirely consistent data.
Yes, but what if? What if?
Science Officer Bloomsbury! You're not worried about that sort of thing, are you?
Me? Heck no. I'm no conspiracy nut. I trust the facts, and I'm ready for anything.
There. You see? Bloomsbury's not worried. You've been reading too many popular science articles.
Yes. Remember, people used to be worried about the singularity, and that turned out rather well, Rufus, don't you think?
Oh, Scrufflegut. Yes, we all remember the singularity was lovely. But what about the Fermi paradox? you can't explain that. I've been reading Wait, But Why? In case you haven't and don't know,
I do.
the Fermi paradox states that statistically we should have encountered intelligent life long, long ago.
Oh, this hooey again.
The fact that we haven't means that either we're living in a simulation, or they're hiding from us, or we're about to encounter an an extinction event, which could happen any day!
All right. Your concerns, absurd though they are, have been noted, even the ones on Sam Neill. Not a lot we can do in expectation of an outside context problem, but we'll keep an eye out for aliens and space-time fluctuation tesseracts or whatever.
Yes, okay. Nonetheless, I'll radio back to command and let them know that we're past the moon and there's no sign of Sam Neill and we're all moving beyond.
Yeah, you do that.
It's odd. The radio's out.
What do you mean?
No contact with Earth at all.
Well, there can't be none. There must at least be background chatter.
No, I'm afraid he's right. The Earth has gone entirely radio silent.
Oh my God, it's happened! It's an outside context problem! We're all gonna be turned into space babies!
Bloomsbury! Put the ship on alert. Strideforth, keep scanning the radio. I'm going to run a bypass on this monologue.
When I signed up for the extreme isolation mission, the people around me were perplexed. The experiment, SLK 2.3, was to monitor the effects of both isolation and long-term orbital residency on the human body and mind. They were contemplating carrying out more space missions with solo travelers and needed to ensure that they could survive. I was going to circle the Earth for 500 days. 500 perfect days. I had to write a logbook, but that was for my monitors to read when I arrived home. I was to be, for all intents and purposes, alone. It was a prime piece of real estate, my pod home. It was small, but, well, so am I. It was all in one room, and a tiny room at that, but you couldn't put a price on the view. All of humanity stretched out before me, so far away. The first thing that happened, something I hadn't anticipated, was motion sickness. My body getting used to the lack of gravity. It's common, but I overlooked it. I've always had a chronic fear of vomit, and the thought of being trapped on a space station with my own floating around me for more than a year was grueling. For an hour, while I was dizzy, sweating and trying to throw up into the appropriate waste attachment, I was even worried that I'd die and then wouldn't find my body until the end of the mission. Luckily, it was over in a few days. The other bonus in my tiny apartment was the gym. I've always found something soothing about weightlifting, something numbing about it. You're in your own world, you and the weight, and nothing else is there with you. I spent hours in the gym every day exercising. The main risk of staying static in space isn't gaining a few pounds, but chronic, excruciating kidney stones. I could do without trying to pass one of those with my limited supply of painkillers, so I became an expert at gravity-free marathons. The food was fine. I'd never been that interested in hawk cuisine anyway. I had to do without fresh fruit, as I had everything I needed for my mission already loaded up, and it goes off too fast, but I never really ate that much fruit on Earth, so it wasn't really a loss. There's a surprising amount of variety. It's all a little weird, as most of it is rehydrated, but nothing a student wouldn't eat. Did you know that you can't drink Coke in space? Your body can't handle the gas. You end up doing this thing called wet burping, which is, well, it's basically just more vomiting. So I had to give up my 4 Cokes a day, but that wasn't really much of a sacrifice. Your bodily fluids are subject to strange pressures in space. They rush to your head, swelling it like a fleshy balloon. I wasn't bothered by the way it made me look, but the strain on my eyes. Sometimes it was so bad I spent days in the dark running for miles and miles to try and free up the pressure. The company was fine. I'm not great with people. That was the main thing I was dreading about going home. I was going to have to go on all those chat shows and talk to people about being a woman in space, but I'd cross that bridge when I came to it. But then, well, I was eating a rehydrated carbonara when I saw the first hit. The sauce is a little lumpy, perhaps, a bit powdery, but the taste is close, though. There was a blinding flash, a plume of smoke, and then another and another. Humanity was blowing itself apart below me. I don't know what had happened. Nobody ever had a chance to tell me what happened. But I sat and ate my dinner as the surface of the earth became blackened, charred. As country after country seethed with smoke and death, I suppose in all that chaos they forgot about me. The first nuke had hit somewhere in North America, I think. But there were so many strikes after that I couldn't keep count. My pod was lit by flashes day and night like a firework display. Men, women, and children boiling into nothing. That was day 241. On day 245, I awoke to peace. The earth was a grey and charred ball, smoking softly, the ash of its people blowing in the wind. I'd never have to go back down. Finally, I was alone.
That's the monologue completed. What's happening in my ship? Scruffleguts, sit right.
Of course. All systems are nominal. We're continuing our planned trajectory. Everything is as it should be, except it seems that no radio signals are being transmitted from Earth.
What the hell is going on?
It's just like I said. Previous data from beyond the moon is falsified. We have no idea what's out here.
Please, Strideforth, keep your head. Dr. Bloomsbury, any theories?
I guess not, Commander. Short of some planet-wide cataclysm around the time of our launch. But that's as crazy as Strideforth's alien theory.
Or it could all be a simulation. Yes, that would explain it.
Control yourself, Strideforth!
Yes, let's all keep our heads.
Who was that? Commander, whose voice was that? Who's on the ship?
Stand by.
What standby? What's going on?
Don't be rude, Harriet. Your mother didn't bring you up to be rude. I thought you were supposed to be in charge of this crew.
Aunt Edwina?
Stop gaping, girl. Everyone's relying on you.
But how? I thought you were dead and buried on Earth. Is my Aunt Edwina?
Sam Neill. Space mimics! I knew it! I told you all!
Oh, you're so smart, Rufus. Isn't he smart?
Ah! Oh, there's one here, too. It looks like my old girlfriend, Tabitha. From home. What about you, Doctor? You seeing an apparition?
What? No. Me? No. Apparition? No. Seeing? No. Why? Why would I be? No.
What is it you see, Doctor?
It's someone from my past. My dark past. From the time I spent as a researcher in the Institute of Unethical Practices. I'd rather not talk about it.
Right. Jolly good. I'm going to douse Tabitha with the liquid oxygen. Take this, space creep!
What are you...
There we go, I've killed it. Or at least cause it horrible, horrible pain. Commander, I think we should turn around and go back.
Well, I'd agree with you, Strideforth, but correct me if I'm wrong, Scruffleguts. The helm's not responding.
No, we've tried to make adjustments, but it seems to be locked into our charted course, straight towards, well, what appears to be a smooth, featureless membrane.
A membrane? In spies!
Yes, that's right. A membrane in space. That is what it looks like. Now, I know that I got angry with you earlier, Rufus, and it looks as though your concerns may, at least in part, have been justified.
I still regret my actions, darling.
It's all right.
Thank you. Nevertheless, don't you have any information about this kind of phenomenon?
I'm afraid being disconnected from the servers back on Earth, I know as little as you do.
I'm sorry, we're going to impact in just under the time it takes to enjoy glitter-drenched harp ensemble Hummingbird.
once told a sailor, you must be brave, you must be confident, and you must be like the little robin. Beneath the boats, beneath the sky, held up the tiny fishing boats and made the bright stars cry. Dear sailor, dear sailor, you must be brave, you must be confident, and you must be like the little robin.
Sorry, do it again.
It's the intercom. It was good the first time. Wait, let me try again.
It was really good. Commander! Doctor! Can either of you hear me?
Aye, I can hear you.
Loud and clear.
Good. I'm getting no readings from anything. Where are we, Scruffleguds?
I don't know. No visible planets. No stars. We seem to have passed out of space.
Our visitors have disappeared too, as quickly as they arrived. Aunt Edwina, she was right here. She was alive again.
It wasn't really her, Commander. Stay with us.
Oh, hello there. Welcome, travellers.
What? Who said that? Who's that? What's going on now?
Please, don't be afraid.
Who's afraid? I'm not afraid. You're afraid. Right. Okay, let's play This Is Your Life. Doctor, Commander, either of you recognize that voice?
Not me.
No idea.
I don't recognize it either, not that you asked.
Sorry, Scruffles.
The apparitions you encountered before were neutrino projections based on imprints for your own minds. They can be a useful way for us to communicate with you.
Oh no! A super powerful alien species was testing us, and I reacted with violence. Now they know that humans are brutal and destructive monsters, and they'll probably exterminate our whole planet.
No, don't worry about that. In the grand scale, humanity is an adorably bumbling little species. Yeah. Certainly not malicious, and much less danger to anyone than you like to think, although you do cause yourselves such endless distress.
Oh, that's good, I suppose. But you are aliens.
Oh, yeah, not in the way that you'll think of it, because, to put it bluntly, space isn't real.
I beg your pardon.
Yes, the four-dimensional space that you inhabit on your planet is sort of an elaborate sound stage that extends just beyond your moon. The rest of the universe that you can see is just a very sophisticated painted backdrop. There are no other planets or distant galaxies, and you have just punched through that painted backdrop.
Oh my God. We've been Truman showed.
Yes, if you like. A cosmic Truman Show.
I think I've lost my mind.
It doesn't make any sense.
This is all quite surprising.
But if space doesn't really exist, then where are we? And who are you? And who are you?
I'm just a humble emissary. And you are now in the Outer Oubliette's exterior extant ostium of obsolete outrages. Oh.
Extravagance, you ever heard of that?
Well, I know there are some ancient myths about something called the Outer Oubliette, but again, I'm afraid I don't have the data.
The Outer Oubliette's exterior extant ostium of obsolete outrages is like a graveyard of ideas. Concepts are stowed away here for when they become useless, irrelevant, or harmful.
Irrelevant? Extant? Useless? But we're not ideas or concepts. We're a podcast. Sorry, we're people.
Yeah. Again, I'm sorry to tell you that people, they aren't really a thing either now. Identity, matter, time, space, life, death, yeah, these are all really useful constructs, but none of them really exist. Not in the wider reality.
I don't understand a damn thing you're saying. And almost certainly neither does our audience.
Yes, it's all rather abstract, I know, yeah.
We're explorers. We seek knowledge. We seek truth. You're telling me we've been living in a false, simulated reality?
Yeah.
Well, then we demand, to see reality as it truly is.
Yeah, well, even the idea of reality is rather inadequate. In your terms, I'd describe it as more of an inconceivable namelessness or a nameless inconceivability.
You can't hold us in ignorance, you authoritarian alien megalomaniacs! Show me!
No, I'm not sure that's a good idea, no.
Why?
No.
What's the matter?
No.
You afraid? You afraid?
No.
You afraid? We're
Stop
break out of this sordid little prison.
No, stop that.
You built for us.
No, you're embarrassing yourself, really. No, it's just with your limited senses and fragile minds.
Cram it, space lady! Show us what's really out there!
Oh, God, well, if you insist. Yeah, we're probably going to have to dissolve your consciousnesses anyway, so, yeah, there you go.
Oh, my God. I've never seen anything so beautiful. A whole rainbow of colors without names. There's no division between smell and texture, between taste and velocity, between light and balance, between Sam and Neil. It's a chaos too immense to comprehend. It is an ugly beauty. It's turning my mind to blancmange. Deus ex infinito.
And so, in his determination to discover the secrets hidden behind the starry sky, Strideforth comes face to face with an empirical reality unfiltered by mercifully imperfect perceptions, and is swept away in a flood of overwhelming experience. And you too, dear listeners, must be swept away, but we hope that you will flood back to us at the next Unseen Hour. We hope that you watched at the Unseen Hour, episode 32, The Outer Oubliette. The Unseen Hour is recorded live and monthly, usually on the first Wednesday of every month at the Rosemary Branch Theatre, courtesy of Unattended Items. This episode was performed innocently by Brice, Stratford, Joey Timmins, and James Carney, and featured a monologue written by Beth Crane and performed by Rebecca Ward. The musical guest was
Hummingbird.
Theme music by The Unrecorded. The Unseen Hour is an Unseen Things production created, written, and produced by James Carney, and the podcast is produced, sparklingly, by Andy Goddard. We all look forward to seeing you here again at The Unseen Hour. And will our guests please join us for a bow? Let's hear it again for Jodie Gray, Serena Mantegi, Nicola Harrison, Beth Crane, Rebecca Ward, and blank. And for Joey Timmins, Brice Stratford, and Andy Goddard over there. Thank you very much. We'll see you downstairs.